Hey y'all, it's mid-October and it's been a bit since I've shared what I've been throwing recently, and I've actually changed up quite a bit of what's in my bag over the last couple years, so I thought I'd share a little update of what's in my bag. So we'll start with putters and we'll move our way up in speeds from there. So I used to putt with Voodoos, have ever since I started disc golf, but I recently changed that about 4 or 5 months ago. I started putting, I went through a couple different putters looking for the right feel, and I liked the Voodoos. They felt really good in my hand, but they were pretty limiting. I was really good with them from short ranges, but increasingly wanting to make longer putts. Felt like it just wasn't the disc that was going to take me there. So now I putt with the Dynamic Disc Guard. I love these discs. A ton of glide. This is actually a suggestion from Giuseppe. And so I carry 2 of them in the bag. This silver stamp one I use a bit more for throwing. They're both in this Burst Classic blend plastic. And then this one with the red stamp is the one that I primarily putt with. But I really like these because I can putt with them both long, short, approaches, dead straight. Just a great all-around putter. And then for kind of my shorter approach shots, I've got this new Kastaplast Berg in K1 plastic. Really loving this disc ever since a suggestion from another player that I just happened to be playing with one day. Great feeling plastic, and then this disc just kind of falls out of the air. There's no glide whatsoever. So for parking short shots right under the basket, this disc is absolutely fantastic. From there, sort of a utility disc. Still in the putt and approach, but this is a Innova Star Mirage. I actually won this at the Druid Hill Open not too long ago as one of my sort of player pack discs. Super, super understable and glidey putt and approach. So it will never fade. And normally when I'm throwing this, I need to do something crazy, to the right as a backhand, and this thing just flips and keeps going. If I'm not careful, it'll cut right into the ground right away, but just a nice utility disc when I need something super, super understable. From there, my last putt and approach is what I use for my longer approaches than I do the Berg, and if I need something a bit more overstable, I go with the, this is an Eclipse Glow Streamline Stabilizer. It's an overstable putter, but I just like the way it feels in my hand coming out, and I can always count on it to fade to the left. All right, let's head to mid-ranges. So for my slower mid-range, kind of 4 and 5 speed, I've got a couple discs here. So still throwing the MVP Access in Eclipse Glow Plastic. This has been a real workhorse for me over the past couple years. Really been enjoying it. Threw it a ton in my last couple tournaments. Dead straight if I throw in a little hyzer, but if I throw it flat, it's got a perfect little turn. It never really fades out, it just kind of stables up, but just great disc, can really get it to go far. And then if I need something with a bit more beef to it, a bit more fade, I grab this Westside Anvil in the VIP plastic. Crazy overstable. So anything where that stabilizer, maybe it's a headwind, or I just need to get a little bit further and really just pump it and get that crazy predictable, fade to the left. This thing will do it, and I'll usually get a big skip out of something too. So super handy disc to have in the bag. Sort of complements that Mirage. From there, the main mid-range that I throw, and I have more of this in my bag than anything else, is the Westside Worship. I've absolutely loved this disc. Ever since throwing it, I had found one on a course, threw it, and then gave it back to the player and ended up getting a few of my own. So I probably use this purple one in VIP plastic the most. It's the most seasoned and it's the most understable of the 3, but this is a great woods disc. I can really control a ton of different lines, from straight to anhyzer to small flexes. Just an overall amazing disc. These are 6 speeds. They're a little faster, so they sort of go in between that mid-range fairway slot, and it's why I don't carry a ton of fairways or even really other mids. The Worship is a good chunk of my game. So this VIP one, again, understable. I have this newer BT Origio Burst one, which right now is sort of stability-wise fits in the middle of the two. It's kind of dead straight. But I know this will beat in a lot faster than these other plastics, so I'm expecting this to be even more understable than this eventually. And then last but not least, I have this Warship in the tournament plastic, just a tick overstable, so if I've got wind coming towards me or if I want that fade at the end, I go for that Warship. Super hand. After that, let's go to the, I guess, two fairway drivers. I've got kind of two fairway drivers before we get to sort of the control driver slot. Again, rely a lot on the Warship for most of my fairway shots. But if I do need a little bit of that extra distance, I do carry two kind of 8-9 speeds in the bag. First is a Axiom Insanity in Proton plastic. Love the Insanity. This is my second one. Actually, I lost one, but I liked it so much. Just great understable fairway driver, so I can release it flat and I get a little bit of turn out of it, but it'll eventually fight out. If I put it on hyzer, it'll flip up to flat for straight shots and tunnel shots. Just great disc. And then the overstable fairway driver I use is the Neutron Volt. Used to not like this, was just too overstable for my arm speed back in the day. But now that I've gotten a bit better, my arm's a little bit quicker, this Volt is perfect in my bag as sort of a straight to overstable complement to the Insanity. From there, let's go to control drivers. So I kind of carry three control drivers, and again, use them, I tend to go Warship or one of these over my fairways, unless it's that particular shot. Start with least stable would be this Star Valkyrie. Had it in my bag for a while. Just feels really good in the hand. I started, throwing a Valkyrie, DX Valkyrie. Started playing disc golf, and even though this is pretty understable for me now, the Star plastic keeps it a bit more overstable, and maybe just this one, a little bit more stable, but still. Just great workable, 9-speed driver. Can get a good bunch of distance out of this. Next comes the Westside Stag here in this VIP plastic. Got the Stag off of a suggestion from another player I was on my group, my card at the Druid Hill Open. Saw that it was throwing the Warship on like almost every shot, and suggested, hey, if you like the Warship, give the Stag a shot. It's got somewhat similar flight characteristics, somewhat similar feel in the hand for a driver versus that mid-range. And it's true, I really do like the Stag. Still learning it a bit. It's relatively new in the bag, but love it on the shots I throw it on. When I get it up to speed, this thing just goes straight forever. Never really turns or fades, just dead the whole way, which is great. And then when I need something overstable, in that sort of 9 to 10 speed spot, I'm going with this prototype Macbeth Onyx. This is just a first run Onyx, an ESP plastic. Just feels good in the hand. Feels a lot like that Valkyrie, but much more overstable. I can always count on it. All right, let's go to distance drivers. Now, I do have a good chunk of distance drivers in my bag, but I would say I really don't throw all that many of them. One's brand new, and then one's a utility disc, and some of them only come out like with really, really windy day shots, but it's always good to have everything covered. I would say my two main distance drivers that I probably rely on for 80% of my shots be these two here. The understable one is this Axiom Vanish, and this is in, Neutron plastic. This Vanish, it's their most understable, I think it's like a 12 or 13 speed, maybe an 11, I'm not sure. It complements my Wraith, where this is just understable. If I, even put in a good bunch of hyzer, it's going to flip all the way up and probably even turn a little bit. Not so much that I'm going to put it into the ground, and I know to give it enough height to get some good shots. But if I need those longer anhyzer shots or long bombs in the field, this thing can just glide and go, great disc. If I need a bit more stability, or if I'm just trying to go max distance, then I'm definitely going with this Pro Wraith. I got a Pro Wraith, not this one, but another one that I loved out of a used bin back in the day, and I fell in love with just the plastic feel, the flight characteristics. I could throw this disc farther than any of my other discs on almost any other day. So just great disc. It's seasoned a little bit now, so can't throw it into a headwind, but deadwind or tailwind, this disc just crushes. Absolutely fantastic for lots of different types of shots. Now, because the Pro Wraith, like I said, haven't been able to throw it into a headwind as much as I used to. It's got a little seasoning on it. So I actually, again, another recommendation of just some other folks I've been playing with, I picked up this Westside Northman. Very, very similar. Feels a lot like a Wraith for me, or that Pro Wraith, but like right out of the box. And I'm hoping that this one in the tournament plastic will keep a bit longer. So thinking this Northman is a pretty good, slightly more overstable complement to my Wraith. So again, just got this a few weeks ago. Already love throwing it. I know this will become a regular throw in my bag. From there, just a couple more drivers. We've got the Vibram Lace. Still have this lace. I have a couple of them. Really love how they throw. This one definitely gotten a bit more beat, probably similar flight to say that Pro Wraith. The real difference here is when I'm playing in moisture. If I'm playing in any kind of moisture, the rubber on this versus all of the other plastic types just feels really good. So if I'm worried about grip, if I'm worried about just needing that extra comfortability for a driver off the tee, the lace is the one that usually comes out for that. Here we have, I guess, no disc golf bag would be complete without a Star Destroyer. I actually found this one while playing with JT in outside of Atlanta in Georgia. But this is a 4-time Macbeth Star Destroyer. I found it, pretty nicely seasoned. It feels good in the hand. It's not stiff like some of those Macbeth Destroyers are. That being said, it's still overstable. It's still a Macbeth Destroyer. And so out of the bat, the discs in my bag in the driver's spot, this is the most overstable. So when I need, when a headwind's coming at me and that, that Northman or Wraith isn't gonna do it, the Star Destroyer comes out. Again, usually just for some strong headwinds, but it still flies great. And then last, more of a utility disc than a true distance driver. I have a, Blizzard Champion Boss. So this is probably, all my discs are mostly max weight, except for that, this Mirage is also 158, so nice and light. This is probably 153, so even lighter. And it's very overstable. So this I use for little flicks out of the woods, get out of jail shots. I'll use it on thumbers or on, forehands that I need to flex really hard. It's just nice to have like a very overstable, predictable, and light disc that you can really control and use in a few different ways. In fact, utility-wise, these discs, while at the opposite ends of the spectrum, I use them in pretty similar situations, just depending on what I'm trying to angle. So that is the discs in my bag. I did just change to this Innova backpack bag. I think it's like $39 right now. Really enjoyed moving to the backpack. Same capacity as my old shoulder strap bag, but the shoulder strap bag, especially when trying to play in tournaments or longer rounds, was just I was getting worn out a bit more. Having 2 shoulder straps definitely helps. Still rock UE Boom and have a couple extras, so we're always listening to music out there. I like this. I also keep a couple towels in here, a larger towel, and then, yes, a Monster screen cleaner towel, making sure I don't scratch my disc. But and then I also have newer a birdie bag. So this has wood rosin in it, really good for getting moisture off your hands, moisture off of discs, and just staying dry, of course. Definitely helpful. And then in the front pocket here, I keep a mini for tournaments, and then love this stuff. I can't recommend it enough. It's silicone sandpaper. So the reason I have some silicone sandpaper there is especially lots of woods in Maryland, if you get a nick or a burr in the side of your disc, not necessarily for the flight, but more for just comfortability. This is nice because it's very flexible, versus regular sandpaper, and I can, you know, get that burr or that nick out of the corner of the disc without really changing the characteristics. So again, rarely use it, but nice to have when you need it. Other than that, good pockets, just, you know, keep my phone, a mask, some snacks, other stuff like that. But that's it. Would love to hear what you're throwing, so feel free to throw a quick video together, and I'd love to see what you guys are throwing, and hope to see you out there on the course. Have a good one.